Yeah, so welcome to this week's market review and expectation. So the week has been a very eventful week, and we are grateful for that. Yeah, so in the previous week, I was expecting price to continue its bullish on the dollar index, and we expect actually lower prices in the pound and then the euro USD. Okay, yeah, but this level was my initial targets, and then we would run this particular high as well. Yeah, but before that, I was talking about this particular fair value gap right here. Okay, so this fair value gap was my confirmation. Depending on how you're going to trade inside this fair value gap, I said I was expecting price to trade up above this particular fair value gap, this the higher end of it. All right, and should we get price to have some kind of support right here, my target was right here, the high on this particular candle. Okay, and finally here, and then we can reach into the what I've been targeting for the past few weeks now, this level, the higher end of this weekly fair value gap. Okay, but then price actually dropped, so we had our resistance from the higher end of the fair value gap. Okay, and price continued to drop lower. We've traded below that fair value gap, and we've closed below it, which actually nullifies that expectation for price to go higher on the dollar index. Okay, yeah, so price dropped, which I was not actually expecting that. So far as we couldn't have our supports in this particular fair value gap for higher prices, I had to hold on and no trade for me. Okay, yeah, so you've dropped lower, and I have to abandon this target, just leave it and see what price has to offer. And so price has actually dropped down into this particular weekly fair value gap. Okay, this level. Yeah, so this particular fair value gap is what I'm talking about. You see how price has run through it like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, so price has dropped into it without any resistance. Okay, and we are going much lower. So in the coming week, I would be expecting lower prices in the dollar index. Yes, I'll be expecting lower prices in the dollar index, and the targets I'm looking out for is this level, the higher end of this fair value gap on the weekly. Okay, yeah, so that's the weekly fair value gap, the higher end of it. I'm looking at that, and then finally the low of this particular candle. Okay, the low of this candle. So let me the lower end of that fair value gap right there. Yeah, so I'm looking at price dropping down into this side or the higher end of this fair value gap, and the next target is the low of this particular candle. Okay, yeah, so that is my expectation for this coming week. Let's see how price trades, and then we trade accordingly. So let's take a look at the fundamentals to consider, or what news we are to expect in the coming week. Yeah, so this is the feed from the forex factory. Okay, and 17th February, that's Monday, we have the bank holiday for USD, and then FOMC member Walla speaks. So there's not much volatility to be expected on Monday, and we move to Tuesday, 18th February at 7 a.m. We have the Claimant count change, and that's a high impact affecting the GBP. Okay, and then at 9:30 we have the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks, also high impact news. Okay, and then at 1:30 p.m. sorry, at 10 a.m. we have the German Z EW economic sentiment, and then at 1:30 p.m. we have the Empire States Manufacturing Index, all being mid-impact news. Then all the we have the President Trump speaks affecting the dollar index. And then on Wednesday, 19th of February, we can expect the CPI and affecting the GBP at 7 a.m. in the morning. And then at 7 p.m., FOMC meeting minutes. Okay. Affecting the dollar index. That's a high impact news, which most likely would inject some volatility into the markets. And then on Friday at 1:30 p.m., we have the unemployment claims, and then Philly Fed manufacturing index affecting the dollar index. And at 5 p.m., we have the crude oil inventories. All these are on Thursday, 20th of February. And then on Friday, we have the retail sales affecting the pound at 7 a.m. And at 8:15 a.m., we have the French Flash Manufacturing PMI. Okay. Yeah, and also French Flash Services PMI, all affecting the euro. Then at 8:30 a.m., you have the German Flash Manufacturing PMI. Okay. And then German Flash Services PMI affecting the euro. And then at 9 a.m., you have the Flash Manufacturing PMI, and then the Flash Services PMI, all affecting the euro. Yeah, then at 9:30 a.m., you have the Flash Manufacturing PMI affecting the pound, and then the Flash Services PMI. Yeah, at 2:45 p.m., we have the Flash Manufacturing PMI affecting the dollar index, and then the Flash Services PMI also affecting the dollar index. Those are high impact news you have to watch for. You have to watch out for. And at 3 p.m., you have the existing home sales, and then the USD. That's affecting the USD. So at 3:30 p.m., you have the existing home sales mid-impact affecting the USD, and also the revised UOM consumer sentiment, all affecting the dollar index. Those are mid-impact news. Yeah, so these are what you have to look out for. And then on Wednesday, we have because of the FOMC minute meeting, you have to be very much cautious, and there's going to be a lot of volatility to be injected into the marketplace if you trade the dollar or euro or pound. Okay, so you just have to be very watchful for that and expect those news to be released. Yeah, so these are my expectations for the coming week. Let's see how markets trade, and then we trade accordingly. Thank you for watching.